So, I've decided to make this video because I guess you could say this is a rant. So recently I have, not really recently, for a while now, I have had this like mindset kind of like, there was a game that came out a while ago. It's called Soma, and short story of the story or the game is what happens. There is a dude thinks he's a human. He's not a human because the world went to shit. He turned into a robot because his human body kind of kerplutted. And that's not even the freaky part. The freaky part is later as you progress through the story, the dude, he he kind of just, there's a point where he can't go any farther and he has to go into this different body, and he he has to take his mind and put it into this other body. And the thing that's scary, like really that tripped me out, was the dude's body's still there. And he's like, why didn't it work? Why didn't it work? But it worked. Like his mind and everything was still there. He couldn't leave. But that copy could. And that was like, well, if you want to use it in a realistic sense, then what's the difference? Like, what is my body then? Because if you could just take my body and just discard it and put my mind in something else, then it's like really, what is like your life? Like, it's like, I don't know. It just didn't really. It was really like, whoa, like, man. And recently, kind of recently, I started watching Rick and Morty, and I don't know exactly what episode, what season it was, but there was an episode where Rick went on an adventure, met his ex-girlfriend or whatever, and he was all like bummed out about it. And I don't know, that scene, it like clicks with me. It's just like, we as a human race are super small on the like scale of everything. We're tiny. And if you want to make it even more like, wow, like crazy, is like a human life is only 100 years. Like usually that's good. Like, hell, if you got screwed over and you died when you were 30, compared to the broad spectrum, that's so small. So it's just like, to add in you not like there being infinite possibilities of you in Soma, and being able to have, and like it kind of intertwined with Rick, where there's infinite galaxies and infinite versions of them. It's like, well, what the hell am I? Because it's kind of, it just puts you as an aspect where it's like, well, I'm gonna die anyways, so what's the point of how I live my life? Because it's not like I'm gonna matter anyways. That's kind of how I see it. Because I mean, really, like, what does it matter? I mean, if that was true, then there's gonna be, what is this world different than compared to the next world? I mean, what's the whole big point of everything? Obviously, that's not a good way to think, because it's like then you become careless and you do reckless things. But it's at the same time, it's, what if that's true? And that, it's a scary and kind of just depressing way to think about the way life could be, if that's the way life would be. Like, and I was like, well, why would he still be depressed? I mean, you get to go on these adventures, go. But then again, it's like, well, this is like, it's not like anything's different. It's like, okay, this dimension is like this, and a little bit different. Like they talked about, oh, you can watch this, but they're corn instead of people. It's like, what's the whole point then? And The reason I'm making this video isn't because like I I don't know. I'm making this video because I want to tell someone. I've had this just the way that whole thing is together for a long time, and I never actually really like explained to someone. And so I was like, well, just make a video of it, post on YouTube. Why not? So yeah, it's kind of what I'm doing. It's just like if you have, if there's infinite dimensions, infinite, possibilities of you in different universes, then like, what's the point of you making up, the world you're in? Because you're only one person to begin with, so you're already super small. So what's the whole point when there's a thousand other super small people like you? And if you could just, teleport and just go to another dimension and start existing there, it's like, well, like, what's the whole point of, like, even trying to make the dimension you live in or the world you live in, like, matter? Because in the end, really, what does matter? I mean, a lot of people, go to religion and say, God was how they became to be, or evolution we just see from monkeys or whatever. But it's like, what if it's neither? What if it's none of that? What if instead we just appeared like everything else did, and there's just the dinosaurs, and then somehow the dinosaur genetics mixed together, and I don't know, just popped out a human? Not because I guess that would be evolution, but I don't know. It's just, what if we just exist to exist, and there's really no point to us existing? Like, I don't know. It's just, it's a weird way to think. Like, you exist not because someone made you, or someone you crafted you, or you have a purpose, but you exist for what? Because you were made through the human reproduction, like, so you can keep the timeline going. Yeah, like, I don't like, I get it. People were constructed, and one little person adds on to another and another and another, and all of a sudden you get you get a big amount of time. But it's like, do you remember any of those people? You remember one specific person that was ordinary, not like someone special like Abraham Lincoln, Gandhi, people like that actually did something for history and made a big impact. But for like the common people, like, and I'm not saying people should start teaching how people became to be that weren't like famous at all, but I'm saying like, it's crazy that unless you really have a special aspect or a special trait or something that stands out from everybody else, you're really just, you just exist to exist. And I don't know. I don't want to do. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be like someone that existed, sat in this chair, went to work every single day, 5 days a week, and then he worked until he got old, and then he got old and he retired, and then he died. It's like, is that a way to live? Is that a way people want to live? Like, I don't know. I would honestly, I want people to remember me. Not because, you know, like, not because I don't want to be forgotten, or like, I want to, matter to someone, but like, I want someone to remember me just so I know that I existed to them. Because, like, what is the whole point of, being born on this earth, going through, putting your time in, whether it's, your job, whatever you do during the day that helps out the society you live in, and then just until you grow old, or you can't do the work you do anymore, and then you just die. It's like, what's the point of that? I don't get that. And and people, they work toward these, materialistic things, and I want to get a better car, I want a better, and I'm not saying, you shouldn't want those things, because yeah, I want those things, but it's like, well, is that all there is? Is like what is the deeper meaning to me being here besides the fact that I existed because I was born? Is there, what is my purpose here exactly? Not, am I here just to exist, or am I here to, like, I don't know, make a difference to someone? And I honestly, I don't know how to answer that, and that's the thing that kind of sucks. It's like there's so many people that are here, and I know there's people that have, like, sadness, and just, they don't feel like they belong or whatever, and it's like, well, at the same time, I mean, what is the point of us being here? Like, do we all belong? Like, is like, because I know some people, like murderers and stuff. Like, I know the world would be better off without them, because they're destroying families. But at the same time, it's like, again, what does it matter? We all die anyways. Whether it's, one day you get leukemia or some type of disease, I don't know, and you die from that, or one day you get hit by a bus by sheer chance, or you just grow old and die because your internal organs, and stuff just shut down. And I don't know, it just shocks me that, like, after I saw that one episode, and I was like, man, this man, like, and I get it, it's a cartoon, it's not like it's actually real life, but at the same time, it could be, like, because you don't know, you maybe, another universe, people already have, discovered, you know, time travel or something, and it's like, what if they are in the same position I am right now, and we got nowhere to where we were able to do everything, and we did everything, but it's like, we're still sitting here feeling like we aren't leaving the world in, a positive place than how we came in it. And I don't know, I just wanted to make a video saying that, like, is like this, the way those two things just add up, it's crazy to think that way. And I don't know if I'm the only one who feels that way, that it's like, man, you're here just to exist, not really, for anything else. Because, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things to occupy a person's time in. There's a lot of things people have created to, immerse people from the real shitty life that they live. And that's wonderful. That's cool. You get out of that's how people, cope with depression and just their shitty lives. But it's like, at the same time, is that all we're going to have, is shitty lives? Like, I don't want a shitty life. I don't want to, go to work, come home, and, go to sleep and repeat. Like, I don't want to do that. And it's like, because, and it's not like, not because I'm lazy or anything. It's because, well, that's what the person before me did. That's what the person, I don't want to be the guy who has, who's just following in the, like, people's footsteps and not making a difference. Not saying, I want to go and, go off the world, and make my own trail or whatever. But I'd rather, I don't know. I would like to just, exist enough to where people knew I existed, and they were proud of how I existed. Not like they were like, oh, they saw me as like like a murderer, or like, someone that are like, oh, well, if he didn't exist, the world would be better. And because it's like, if there are multiples of me, think about it this way. That means there could be multiple versions of me making this video, multiple versions of me thinking the same way, that, like, life really isn't the way, people thought it was when they were younger, that, oh, you can't wait till you're an adult, you can't wait until, you can get these own things, but they're just materialistic things. It's not like they actually, make you feel like, I don't know, like you belong, I guess. Because you could have, like, the best things in the world, but it's like, once you die, it's gone. So, like, I don't know. I guess basically what I'm trying to say is, if you would want to buy $1 million car and that's how you want to live your life, because there could be other versions of you, or you could being how small your life is compared to the grand scale, compared to like dinosaurs and all that. I mean, you basically mean nothing in the first place. So why not just do what the hell you want to, and then when you die, as long as you're happy, I guess. I mean, that's on you. I mean, you control who you are. I just, I don't know. It's just a crazy way to think. And for someone, like, especially for someone, if we're gonna go back to to Rick and Morty, for someone to have that much knowledge, like Rick is, he's a very intelligent, like he's the most smartest person on the earth, and it's like for him to know everything and done everything, it's like, well, if he's not satisfied with how things are, then I mean, I'm not the half. I haven't done half the things that he has. So, what does that say about me? That's what I was thinking about, and I was like, man, that's crazy. But I don't know. I just thought about making this video just to explain, like, if I'm the only one who feels this way. If not, please just like comment below. Be like, yo, that is like some crazy shit, and I feel the same way. Or like, no, what the fuck are you talking about? But that's the way like I feel lately, that like after seeing that, and it's not like I'm depressed or like I want to be like ooh, life is worthless. No, not like that. Like I'm a happy individual, but it's like it's not really about me being happy. It's more for like statistic statement. Like if I existed, and I live until I'm 40 or 50, okay? 50 years out of this whole earth has been alive, I've existed. That's not a whole long time. Because, the earth's been here for billions of years, and it's like, I'm only here for a short period of time, so it's like, and after I'm gone, no one's gonna remember me anyway, so, unless I make a difference, what's the point? And it's not like saying, okay, well, I'm gonna do something bad so people remember, like, Al Capone or something. No, that's not my point. Like, I'm very for like equality and just people, being equal to each other, and people just being there for each other. But I mean, at the same time, it's like, don't let someone bring you down just because you want them in your life, because honestly, you only are gonna live once. Because I've had another similar thought, a little backstory. I recently have like had my freedom. That's how I call it. I used to live with my father, and he was a strict guy, which is whatever. It's, you can't choose who your parents are, and we had some issues, whatever, stuff we had to resolve, which we never did. I ended up moving out my junior summer. I'm graduated now, so I had 1 year. My senior year, I like to call it free. It was no one was up my ass about grades, or telling me you got to be home at this time. You got to do. I was my own person, and honestly, it felt great. It felt amazing for me to finally be able to make my own decisions and do my own things. But then again, recently, uploading of this video, there is, I believe, every single homecoming now in the around the United States is over. Because I know my school just finished theirs this last Saturday, and so I thought about this. I was talking to my girlfriend about this, and I was like, man, I really hope kids at homecoming had, a fun time. She's like, well, why? And I was like, well, it's crazy to go to your first homecoming your senior year, and then it also being your last. And to be honest, my whole like high school, I lost so much of it because of me living with my dad and him not letting me do the things I wanted to do. And it wasn't like at the time, he probably didn't think about it the way I thought about it, now that I'm graduated, that, you live once. I'm never going to go to high school again. I'm never going to, have a middle school. Never going to have, that life anymore. And honestly, I regret a lot of it because I wanted to do more. I would love to be in a sport. I would love to go to, the dances and stuff because that's the only time I'm gonna be able to go, and that's the only time I'm gonna be able to have those memories. And so it's like, man, that after that, that's gone. And so, it sucks. So, I mean, basically, if there's one thing to take from all of this, if you watch through the whole of it, is honestly just do you. There is no one in this world, I mean, that's gonna exist after you're gone anyways. So, I mean, I get it, if you're like me and you don't want to, leave a negative impact on people, you want to be positive about things and have people be happy with, as an outcome of meeting you. That's my plan. It always doesn't work that way because, people are people and we don't always get along. But I would just say you do you and live the life how you want to live it, whether it's positive in your eyes and negative in others, or negative in your eyes and positive in others. If you want to live your life, in whatever manner you want to live it, I'm completely for that. Granted, I'm not saying if you want to become like, someone who's going to go chop people's heads off because it's what you want to do and that's how you want to leave an impact on the people. Like, I disagree with that because I'm all for you wanting to make yourself happy, but also being respectful of others because at the same time, you're your own person, they are their own person, and they have to live with you. So, I just hope at the end of the day when your last ticket's out and, you gotta bite the bullet, it's like you did everything and there's like nothing like, man, I wish I could have did. Because I was like that. I was, with the whole high school thing, I was like, man, I missed out on a lot. But I guess, it meant who you are today. And so I guess that's all for this video. So I'll see you later, dudes. Peace.